My name is Mar. I come from a community in Denmark, but originally I am from Holland. Always wanted to be a farmer, but accidentally I became a librarian. After working several years in office jobs, I felt the urge to find a more sustainable way of living. I started traveling and I stumbled over the Svanholm community, where I started working as a volunteer. And I learned about vegetables and fruit growing in the community, learning by doing. So today I would like to tell you about our vegetable production according to economy, responsibility, and people. The Svanholm community, maybe, wait. The Svanholm community was founded in 1978. Two couples placed an announcement in the newspaper. They wanted to make a big place in the countryside where people can work and live together. About 100 people gathered and bought an old estate and started living there. So today I want to tell you about the vegetable production of 7 hectares according to economy, responsibility, and people. I will tell you about the business model, the customers and products, the growing methods, and the economy and future strategy. So, as I told you before, the Svanholm community was founded in 1978. Today, we are still a solid, dynamic, and inspiring community, thriving within nature. We are living 80 adults and 50 children on 420 hectares of land and forest. Svanholm runs a versatile farm with plant and animal production. We have 120 milking cows, 100 sheep, 180 hectares of farmland, 100 hectares of forest, and 7 hectares of vegetables and greenhouses. We grow by organic principles in a responsible and rentable way. We aim to produce healthy food. We aim to use regenerative methods in both animal and plant production, taking care of soil fertility and animal welfare. The first farmers starting to grow the land by organic principles in 1978 started to grow 5-6 crops of vegetables on 40 hectares without chemicals, which was quite new in this time. They decided to grow roots, apples, beans, and potatoes, mainly machine-driven. Soon, a supermarket chain in Denmark became interested and After this, they started to deliver to supermarkets together with other farmers, and ended to build a packing central. And this is the main reason why organic products mainly are distributed in supermarkets. After several years of growing this bulk production, we could see challenges appearing. Diseases and pests were becoming more clear. For example, nematodes in carrots and other mainly storage diseases. Also, the market began to change. Bigger farmers appeared. They noticed the advantages of delivering organic products to supermarkets, and they started to dump the prices. We couldn't really cope with this according to buying newer machines. We were a very ideological place and didn't really have the money to buy new machines. At the same time, in Copenhagen, the Food Corporation was founded. A small group of people wanted to change the food system. They wanted to buy fresh organic vegetables and fruits directly from farmers instead of getting their food from the supermarket. This led to a change in our business model. We started delivering to this small group of people, and during the next years, we changed. We changed to a business model based on growing a very wide assortment of vegetables to a wide range of different types of customers. We scaled down the 40 hectares of vegetables to more than 60 varieties. And this meant we became a more handheld and social farm. We also started to focus a lot more on quality instead of quantity, which gave low prices. The result of this change was also that we got a more stable and robust economy. So we became a more handheld production. We scaled down from 40 hectares to 7 hectares, and it meant that we could not keep all our machinery going. We started to use a lot more hand tools. You probably know the TerraTech cultivators and small seeders from Earthway and Cresco. We still needed to focus a lot on efficiency because we have also an economy that means something. And we also need to focus on physical hard-working conditions, the welfare of the people working. So we try to find a balance between using machines and using hand tools. We like to use machines where it makes sense. We became also a more social production. We are on the 7 hectares of vegetable growing. We are 2 full employed all year round. We are 3 students from agricultural education or gardening school. We also have a few season workers in the most busy months, and we work and host volunteers and woofers. The volunteers are helping out for cost and accommodation, and it's mostly young people that want to be inspired by our farm, but also by the community. Most of the people working with us are living on the farm and are taking part in the daily life in the community. We grow a wide range of vegetables to very different customers, and this is spreading risks because also because of direct sales, we can establish very close relations to our customers. During the Corona time, for example, we could easily change our sales from restaurants to a wholesale firm when restaurants were locked down. The community is for the most self-sufficient, especially with vegetables, and that's why the community kitchen also is a very important customer. For the rest, we are selling our vegetables to restaurants, both high-end restaurants, but also normal cafes. We also sell to one supermarket. It's an online supermarket where we can place our products in their web shop. We decide more or less ourselves how much we want to sell and also for which price. As you can see, vegetable boxes is not a very big part of our enterprise. And it might be because we don't use a lot of marketing. We are a bit on social medias, but it is the close relations with our customers is giving very loyal customers. So we don't go out and find customers. Growing a wide range of crops is also spreading the risks according to the weather and also according to human mistakes. We grow a couple of main crops which supplies us with a stable yield, and we are in a stable economy. And besides this, we grow secondary crops, which are high-risk crops and trials. As you can see here, the main crops are mostly summer crops. From May until November, we grow leaf vegetables, tomatoes, garlics, and green asparagus. During the year, we also grow all basic vegetables, and there is a small part of special crops. So the special crops can be crops that are difficult to grow or use a lot of time in harvesting, like beans and asparagus, broccoli takes a lot of time to pick. Also, for example, lemongrass we deliver to one restaurant. The restaurant is stopped buying and importing lemons because they are able to use our lemongrass instead of lemon juice. We make trials for a seed company called Row 7 in the USA. It's a small firm that is developing new varieties of vegetables. And we have some different crops that will come new on the market. The one in the right top is called garlic. But we also grow several salads for them. Winter crops we harvest in November, and storage. We have a freezer, a fridge, and we have a dry storage. So we can supply our customers all year round. To make the assortment a bit more excited, we grow microgreens and we also grow endives. The growing of the endives is a result from a close relation to a restaurant. The chef, he found it very boring to make a Danish menu in January with all the roots and potatoes and beets. So we found out to grow endive salads. We grow them inside. The roots are we grow the roots in the field like carrots. After harvesting, they are cooled down, and during the winter, we plant them in boxes with soil, place them in a storage where it's dark, and keep the temperature on 15 degrees. After harvesting, about 4 weeks later, we have a very fresh product for the restaurants during the whole winter. After harvesting, the roots are considered as waste. We throw them out or can use them for animal food. One day, the Danish university came by. They were working on a project trying to find out how to put extra value in waste products. Endive roots are known from Belgium as a coffee substitute from the old days. But they got quite surprised when they made some tests, fermented the roots, and were able to extract tonic out of the roots. So it could be a nice extra product to have, salads and then gin tonics for the restaurants. The recipe is here in the bottom if you would like to try. So this brings us to the waste. In the old days where we were growing for supermarkets, we had a huge waste. Supermarkets, they had norms that were quality norms that were mostly about looks and weight. Not about quality, but looks and weight. So we have experienced to throw out half of a harvest of pumpkins because the weight was 50 grams too little. In our current model, we don't do this anymore. We sell everything because all the different customers, they have different needs. They want all different sizes, and they focus a lot more on taste and not so much on looks. So another way of adding value to our primary production is hosting courses and events. We host visits from kitchen managers and crews. They come out in the farm and learn about seasons and about waste problems. So we grow 7 hectares in rotation with cereals and grass. The total amount we use for the vegetables is about 25-30 hectares within our bigger farm. The greenhouses is about 1,200 square meter. We have 1.5 hectares of asparagus and about 5 hectares of mixed vegetables. So in the beginning of the year, we start producing plants for transplanting. We produce some of the seeds ourselves, but a lot of the seeds we buy in foreign and in Danish firms. We go for different and special varieties, also old varieties, depending on how they fit to our soil and climate, but also how they fit according to our customers. So we buy seeds in Holland, Germany, Sweden, and Denmark. We produce, for the most, the plants ourselves, so we are in control of the process. But we also need to buy random cabbages and salads in a Danish nursery because we don't have space enough. We use cow compost, cow manure from our own cows, and use rototiller and subsoiler to prepare the soil. We don't plow anymore. Only if it is really, really necessary, we could do that, but we don't normally do that. So after preparing the soil, we set up beds in the field. 2-meter wide system we have. We put up the beds with the rototiller and leave them for 2 or 3 weeks untouched before sowing. The seeds that are germinating in this time we burn away. This is an advantage. This can be an advantage according to later times, because then we can get rid of a lot of weeds before. But it is very depending on the weather also, because in dry weather, not so many seeds, wheat seeds will germinate, and in wet weather, a lot of seeds will germinate, but we might not be able to drive. According to establishing crops, we use two different kind of ways. The first one is direct seeding. We have an old sowing machine, a stanhay with seeding belts. The more modern seeders are working on air pressure. This one is an old type. We sow 3 rows in a bed with 50 centimeters in between. So transplanting, right now we use biodegradable foliar. And I will get back to this later. After planting and seeding, most of our crops need to be covered with insect net. We have a very big amount of wild animals in our farm. After 46 years of organic farming, we have a lot of hares, deers, and also birds that like to eat all vegetables. Also insects and weather conditions are, it's necessary with some protection. We can irrigate, and this is improving the quality of our crops and also helping against insect attacks. So mechanical weed control we use. We have some very simple row cultivator, and we use also a Trefler tined harrow. The Trefler harrow is cleaning the soil in the surface, and what is special about this harrow is that we can adjust the pressure of the tines. So we can use this harrow also in sensitive crops like carrots and beets. With a normal tined harrow, you cannot do this. Then you normally use it in planted crops. We also use animals in managing weeds. As Svanholm is a self-sufficient community, we have quite a lot of small animal projects around. And sometimes we use the pigs and the hens to clean up in fields. Manual weeding, we need also hands to be weeding. In the old days where we had bigger crops, we used school children that could earn pocket money. We built a weeding wagon where 12 kids could lay beside each other. We don't use this anymore, but we use the wagon for harvesting asparage, because harvesting 1.5 hectares of asparage every single day for 6 weeks is very, very hard for the people, for the bags. We don't need machines or tools for this, but I think it is one of the most important skills or actions to do when farming in general is observing and be there at the right time. We still have some machines for harvesting. Although the amount of harvest is less, we have a root harvester, which is very handy to harvest carrots and beets, lifting them in the top. But most of the harvest is done by hand. From May until November, we harvest salads, garlics, onions, tomatoes, and pumpkins, and everything is done by hand. After harvesting, it can be very difficult to sow cover crops because the harvest is very late finished. In September, October, when most of the crops are done, the weather is, especially, I don't know, in Denmark, the weather is getting so bad that it is not possible to sow anything anymore. That's why we started to sow cover crops while the main crops are still in the field. So we get out in July, August, and undersow different cover crops. After harvesting, we cool down the vegetables and pack and sort for distribution. We have a web shop where customers can order 2 times a week, and we deliver 2 times a week. So after many years of row cultivating and using all these typical organic practices, we already have seen some challenges like the pests and diseases, and also the market changes and wild animals. But the worst challenge we noticed was actually one kind of wheat, and it's called Galinsogar, or shaggy soldier, and in German I think it is called Franzosenkraut. This wheat is covering most of our farm. It has been there for 25 years. We should have taken the first plant and burned it. The plant is originally from South America, is growing very fast and spreading a lot of seeds. So different generations can occur during one season. This makes it very hard to manage. We cannot row cultivate against it, and false seedbed is only working partly. So the best way to manage this wheat is by covering the soil. And this is the main reason why we, for about 10 years ago, started to use the system with biodegradable foliar. The foliar is made of starch, and after harvest, we can till it into the soil and it will decompose. The advantages are many. We use it in planted crops. The foliar is very simple to manage. It's a simple machine to lay out. It's warming the soil. We don't need so much irrigation work because the moisture is kept in the soil, and we harvest very clean products. We don't think this system is sustainable in length. It is not a natural way of growing, and it doesn't fertilize our soil. So we are trying to find other solutions. So when trying to find other growing methods, we need to consider different things. We need to consider our wheat challenges. We also need to think about, we have an ambition to improve soil fertility. We want to have low practical workflows because of working with volunteers and students. We prefer easy instructions, hand tools, and hands-on learning. We also need to consider if we have to go and invest in new machines and if we have to change our machine park. So we have already tried in the past few years, we tried different methods. We have been planting in crumpled rye, where rye is bended over and the roots are still in the soil, and after this you plant your main crop. This is a difficult method for us because the timing needs to be perfect, and also if we want to do it with a machine, it's a very expensive machine for our small farm. We have been covering with straw or compost. This also works okay, but it is only possible in big crops that are already established, like rhubarb or artichokes. So sowing cover crops under and between crops and between rows of vegetable is a more preferable method for us. We prefer living plants in the soil, so we can improve photosynthesis. This year in 24, we are going to try out a new machine, actually bought in Germany. A colleague farmer is, has invested in a machine like this. And we're going to plant 0.5 hectare of cabbage in mulch. You could see this also in the previous presentation. So that's very exciting to try. This method is different from covering with straw because the mulch layer is covered on the soil before planting. So we want to implement regenerative methods in our existing growing system. We are supported by a German expert. He is trying to learn us to focus a lot more on the soil and on biology of plants and also of soil. Instead of finding machinery and metals to fight the challenge, he tried to learn us to focus on the plant health so we can have better resistance against the challenges like the weather and the insects. We are following different steps in this process. The first one is reducing soil disturbance. The second one is ventilation and fertilizing. And the fourth one is plant diversity. So if we can manage those four, we will be far ahead. So the economy on our 7 hectares of vegetables is break even. We have a revenue of about 50,000 euro per hectare. We have a lot of labor costs. Perhaps it is special for Denmark, but wages in Denmark are extremely high. So we use about 35,000 euros on wages. And above this, we have costs for expenses like seeds and plants and our machinery. But it's actually break even as it is now. So how do we make it work, our small vegetable production? For me, the production is small or medium. We aim to run a profitable business. We like to involve people and want to take responsibility to improve the soil. We manage this by spreading risks, like having a diverse range of crops and customers. The direct sales are supplying with fresh quality, because the way from farm to customer is very short. So the products are more fresh. We balance our use of machines and hand tools and people. So we make sure that we are still working effective. In this way, I think the size of about 5-7 hectares of vegetables is a good balance, where you still can have machines. We add extra value to our primary production by hosting events and courses, and also sometimes try to develop new products. And we face our challenges and try to implement regenerative methods in our existing organic methods. We also can see some challenges for the future. One of the biggest challenges is implementing new methods in our existing model, because we still need to keep it all running. We need to make a profitable business to be able to exist. So it takes a lot of time. It's a very slow process to change the production. Also, in these times, we experience very extreme weather conditions. 2023, we had a year where it was amazingly dry in the first part of the year, and then we never had so much rain as before in the last part of the year. So we can notice that the climate is changing. Also, market movements can be a challenge for the future. The last 3 years we have had Corona, we have had extremely high energy prices, And also war periods are having influence on us, but also on our customers. And a last challenge is actually also generation change. In Denmark, a lot of the old farmers have difficulties to find qualified staff, but also have difficulties to find young people that can take over. There are young people that want to, but they don't have the resources and perhaps also not the right education to take over. So in 2030, we want to have a robust economy. We want to continue with the direct sales from the farm to loyal customers. In 2030, we are quite sure that we will have a plan for this generation change. And in this, our work with students will assure our existence. And the new regenerative growing methods we are going to implement will definitely improve soil fertility and supply us with improved quality. Thank you for listening.